Hey, it's Alma, and you're at Tarot of the Soul. I'm glad to be here. I've already got 2 people in my queue, so that's awesome. Welcome, Leo and Scorpio. It's nice to see you. It's been a minute, and I'm glad to be here tonight and excited to get your readings. So thanks for coming right away. I appreciate it. It's always rocky for me to start by myself, so I'm glad you guys are here to start the evening off strong. What'd you say?
Oh, I was just starting.
Oh, sorry.
Are you
So,
ready to get into the queue?
yeah, if you guys are ready, we can start reading. Leah, if you're up for the queue. So, what kind of reading can I get for you tonight? How are you doing? How has it been since I've last seen you? Good to see you, Alma. Hey, thanks. It's nice to see you too, Scorpio. I love that you come back, that you visit me, and I'm glad to have you here this evening. Can I have a friendship reading? I feel like I keep trying to connect, but I'm missing the mark. Yeah, we can do that. Let me get this deck ready. And there's a 4-card relating spread that I like to use for this kind of thing. The first card is your energies. The second card is your friend's energies. The third card is the mixing of those energies. And the fourth card is the meditation or the insight into that connection, where the people who are my friends are just acting different. Okay, yeah, let's see what the cards have to say. I know for a long time when I was with friends, I always felt insecure, like they weren't really there for me. But in my growth and learning about myself, I realized a lot of what I was fearing about my friends was really what I was fearing about myself. Not being accepted, not being understood, not being seen, all those sort of things. And, you know, ultimately, I think a lot of my friendships really didn't go deeper because I was fearful I wasn't being accepted. And that fear or doubt or blockage between me and others really prevented me from getting to know anybody on any real level. And that brought to mind just, we meet people where we're at. And so, if somebody feels like they're acting off or anything, check and see if it's you feeling uncomfortable in the moment or if it really is them. Because I like to figure out where I am in the moment. So first card, understanding. That's your card. The next card is your friend's energy, healing. I'm always scared to ask someone if something's off because I'm afraid I did something wrong. I guess for me, I understand that fear because I'm always worried I'm doing something wrong. I'm a very apologetic person because I'd rather, have somebody feel that I'm sorry for messing up than have no sorry said. But I get it. But for me, I'd rather know I did it wrong than continue doing it wrong with things left unsaid. So I tend to check and see if I messed up or if I bothered somebody. And I think I'm a little neurotic about that, which could come off in a lot of ways, I guess. But for me, I authentically don't want to upset or make others uncomfortable. So I'd rather ask, am I off-putting? Did I do something? Because the worst they can say is no, or they can answer honestly, and then you'd know better where you stand. So creativity came as the mixing of the energies. and consciousness comes for the meditation. So you are understanding. I like that both of your cards for you and your friend or friend group, however this card speaks to you, they're both in the water suit, which is mastery of emotions, which honestly, when we're in a relationship, it is managing our emotions to not only positively connect to another, but to positively connect to ourselves inside of that relationship. So let's see what understanding has to say. That is the Page of Water. The bird printed on this card is looking out from what seems to be a cage. There is no door, and actually the bars are disappearing. Ooh, interesting. The bars were an illusion, and the small bird is being summoned by the grace and freedom and encouragement of the others. It is spreading its wings, ready to take flight for the very first time. The dawn of a new understanding that the cage has always been open and the sky has always been there for us to explore can make us feel a little shaky at first. It's fine and natural to be shaky, but don't let it overshadow the opportunity to experience the lightheartedness and adventure on offer, right there alongside the shakiness. Move with the sweetness and gentleness of this time. Feel the fluttering within. Spread your wings and be free. I like this card because inside this friendship, there's insecurity on your part. And that's kind of like a cage between you and every relationship you enter into. So in friendships, it's better to be wholesomely yourself than pretend to be somebody you're not to get somebody to like you. And so I guess there's a freedom to be found. If you're accepting yourself as you are, then others can accept you as you are. And if you feel good as you are, then you can trust that those that are around you feel good about you too. And if they don't, then you'll probably find conflict or dissonance in the relationship, and it'll naturally speak to you whether that person is someone you want in your life. I also feel it's hard because one of my friends got a new job and I'm so happy for him, but now I know that's going to change things. Well, life changes everything. Every moment brings a host of change, and in a given moment, we can't know what the change is going to be. But you've had time with this friend and built that bond, and if it's meant to carry forward, it will. And if it matters to you, sow your time and energy to carry that bond forward on your part. I've never been good with change. Oh, I'm sorry. Change is a hard one, I think, for a lot of people. It's not just you. I think a lot of modern culture builds our stability around the idea that we can control our lives, our plans, our futures, life. We can control life. And the idea that we can't can be really scary. And change is that inability for us to control. And so there's a measure of peace with like accepting things as they are. This moment made you all that you are in the total perfection of who you exist as. And change lets you witness that perfect self in a different light. And change highlights who you want to be and who you don't want to be and who you are no more. And like every moment that flows in gives you a chance to better define yourself. And so there's a lot of resistance or rejection that comes when we're scared of change. It's scary because it's unknown, but I think there's parts of ourselves that are unknown, and the change the future brings, it lets us fall into our best versions of self over and over again. So knowing maybe this card speaks of change being the cage that you're inside of. resisting the change that comes out of fear or doubt or whatever might make you not want to positively connect with change. But ultimately, I like that the card for your friend is healing, because you could see their energy as a chance to heal yourself. They're moving in a positive motion, direction. And so as a friend, we feel good when our friends are going off and doing great things for themselves. And them changing directions and moving on in a different way can be scary, but it doesn't change the impact they've had on your life. And so rather than fearing what may be in the future, embrace what you know now. You love your friend as they are, and you want the best for them. Spend time while you have it, and make communication, expression that you want to keep in touch going forward. So both of you know where you stand given the coming change. So your mixing of energies is creativity. From the alchemy of fire and water below to the divine light entering from above, the figure in this card is literally possessed by the creative force. Really, the experience of creativity is an entry into the mysterious. Technique, expertise, and knowledge are just tools. The key is to abandon oneself to the energy that fuels the birth of all things. This energy has no form or structure, yet all the forms and structures come out of it. It makes no difference what particular form your creativity takes. It can be painting or singing, planting a garden, or making a meal. The important thing is to be open to what wants to be expressed through you. Remember that we don't possess our creations. They do not belong to us. I'm going to pause here because remember that we don't possess our creations. This is a good thing to remember with friends. We don't possess them. They come into our lives to cherish and treasure and to sync up with us when we're meant to. But ultimately, not everybody's meant to be an everyday kind of person in our lives forever. And so loving our friends as they are means loving the possibility that they might fly off to do big things for themselves apart from us. And that's okay. It's okay that every life line that comes into our moments isn't tied to us in a permanent sort of way. There's a great freedom in that because it allows us to develop bonds purely. Hi, Taffy, welcome. Thanks for jumping in the queue. Just working with Leo right now. But there's a freedom to be found in letting our friends be who they're meant to be, because it means we treasure them. We're not grasping them for our own reasons. We're in it together. It's a harmonious connection, and harmony means we have to be who we're meant to be. Oh, Taffy, you want a donation? That is, let's see. I am on Venmo as that. If you'd like to donate, or bits are appreciated. Oh, there it is. Ha! But, yeah, so friends, I like that creativity comes in the mixing of energies. Be creative. And there are so many ways to keep in touch nowadays. Text, social media, email, right? There's all kinds of ways to stay in communication, even when we're not day-to-day present in somebody's life. So try not to fear the change that comes, but open yourself up to all the new ways your friendship can manifest. And so the meditation card is consciousness, which is in the clouds, which is mastery of the mind. So I think I like this card before I even read what it has to say. How you hold the friendship in your mind and the changes that are coming is how you're going to feel inside of it. Is it really loud? Okay. Hmm. Oh, it's the one you dropped. Okay, so consciousness. That's the Ace of Clouds. Ad break. Okay. We will wait for you. Okay. Okay, while we're waiting for Leah to get back, I'm just gonna kind of keep talking. We're checking to make sure the mic is working well. Tonight we have the AC running, so it might get loud, but we just want to make sure this works because this mic got dropped by accident. So just testing to make sure it's running fine and working the way it's supposed to. And so hubby's up and down running to make sure it's doing what it's supposed to. And I'm trying to keep talking because that's what I'm supposed to do. So yeah. I appreciate that you guys are here. Kathy and Scorpio. Welcome back, Leah. I was just chatting to make sure the mic is working. So we had consciousness, which is the Ace of Clouds, which again was the mastery of the mind. So before I even read, it sits with me that the mind card is what's being called attention to in this what feels like positive resonance with the friendship in mind. It's all how you keep your mind, how you relate to the friendship. If you have fears and doubts and questions, that's going to be projected into the relationship you share. But if you pull inward and you feel comfortable inside the connection you've made, no matter how far someone goes, they're always going to stay that same quality of character in your heart because they've moved you, they've touched you. And that doesn't go away just because distance comes. Once our heart moves, it moves forever. So don't fear your friend going and doing great things. Just embrace that change happens and, take a front seat to the change that happens and be, active in positively connecting to it in any way you can. Most of the cards in this suit of mind are either cartoon-like or troubled because of the influences of our mind in our lives is generally either ridiculous or oppressive. But this card of consciousness shows a vast Buddha figure. He is so expansive, he has gone even beyond the stars, and above his head is pure emptiness. He represents the consciousness that is available to all who become a master of the mind and can use it as a servant it is meant to be. When you choose this card, it means that there is a crystal clarity available right now, detached, rooted in the deep stillness that lies in the core of your being. There is no desire to understand from the perspective of the mind. The understanding you have now is existential, whole, in harmony with the pulse of life itself. Accept this great gift and share it. So I like this card because the now moment is the gift for you, and your friend is in this now moment. Treasure that, respect that, honor that, and know that you're going to be okay and your friendship is going to mean everything it's meant to you no matter what direction your friend goes. And so just give yourself the chance to feel good and invite the new direction that the friendship is going to take in light of the changes that are coming. And then I also want to draw a card from the Greenwich Oracle deck for you and see what it has to say. Okay. Basil, prosperity, luck, and love. I can't see. Oh, there it is. Basil is one of the most versatile herbs in a green witch's toolkit. Full of positive energy, it can draw good things into your life. Basil has been known to dispel fear, confusion, or any weakness, and was even used as an aromatic by ancient Greeks to attract love. In this way, basil is all about forward movement. Oh, I love that. Forward movement, as you're speaking of changes that you might be worried about. The basil card tells you that the time is right for something that you may have been hesitant about in the past. The time for planning and preparing is over. Go forth with confidence. I like that too. Good. It's an auspicious time. This is a great moment to indulge in love or take a risk. Basil has your back and luck is on your side. And the reflection is, have you been scared to take a leap or risk that may pay off greatly? And I like that. Matters of the heart are always really risky because ultimately the biggest fear we have is that we're going to get hurt. But when we don't fall vulnerably into the arms of love, we're shortchanging ourselves on the chance to positively connect with others. So as this card mentions luck and prosperity, go forward with just acceptance that the people in your lives are meant to be there. And when they touch you for the rest of your life, no matter how often you talk to them. So just let the luck carry you forward and let the changes come as they will, and do your best to meet them with the best possible self you can. And know that's enough. You don't have to do any more than be your best. And your best is for you to define. Yes, you'll try. I love that. That's a good thing to try for. And I hope that reading brought some words and insight. My brain tends to overthink a lot. Yes, overthinking is, in that your fourth card was consciousness, the clouds with the mastery of the mind. So once you can clear the overthinking, I think you'll fall in peace with yourself and in how you connect to the moment and others. Because ultimately that overthinking, it's a distraction from peacefully witnessing your moments. The overthinking makes us think it needs our attention, but really, if we pull back and let the clouds of overthinking pass, crystal clear skies come, and it just feels good being ourselves. So I hope you can find some time to feel comfortable being yourself without always being lost in thought about it. So yay. Thank you, Leah. I appreciate I could do another reading for you. Thanks for being the first of the night. So true. Stacy, welcome. I didn't know you were there. Glad to have you. Yeah. So that brings up Scorpio. Scorpio, are you still there? Can I still get you a reading tonight? Yay, you're right there. Awesome. So what kind of reading can I get for you tonight? Leah, thank you for letting me read for you. I hope you have a blessed night, and I hope you find some comfort inside yourself so you can feel comfortable inside your friendships with others. Know you're awesome, and those around you probably know just how awesome you are too, if you just let yourself believe it. Yeah, sure, take your time, type it out. You're welcome, Leah. We don't always know how awesome we are, and inside we can do a lot of beating ourselves up and not appreciating the wonder of who we are. as somebody who's taken that path to, from beating myself up to appreciating the magic of who I get to be, it's a healthy step to take to love yourself and understand what you bring to the table. Because if you understand yourself and love yourself and think you're awesome, others are going to feel the same. You're going to attract your tribe of people that resonate with the authentic nature of who you are. And that's what you're after with friends, right? People who see you clearly. Could we read about the energy in a relationship between myself and someone close to me? Yeah, absolutely. We can do the same reading I just did for Leah, if that works for you. One card for you, one card for the person close to you, one card for the mixing of energies, and then the fourth card is the meditation on the read. So yeah, let's do that. Your card is control. Interesting, control came up tonight. We were talking about that with Leah. Their card is the source. The mixing of energies is conditioning. And the meditation is the miser. Okay, so let's see. Control is of the mind. That's the mastery of the mind. It's clouds. And control happens to be king of clouds. There is a time and place for control, but if we put it in charge of our lives, we end up totally rigid. The figure is encased in the angles of pyramid shapes that surround him. Light glitters and glints off his shiny surfaces, but does not penetrate. It's as if he is almost mummified inside the structure he's built up around himself. His fists are clenched, and his stare is blank, almost blind. The lower part of his body beneath the table is a knife point, a cutting edge that divides and separates. His world is ordered and perfect, but it is not alive. He cannot allow any spontaneity or vulnerability to enter it. The image of the King of Clouds reminds us to take a deep breath, loosen our neckties, and take it easy. If mistakes happen, it's okay. If things get a little out of hand, it's probably just what the doctor ordered. There is much, much more to life than being on top of things. Scorpio, does this card resonate with you? Do you feel a need to manage life and kind of have your hands heavy in what's going on in order to feel comfortable? I think I have to replace my UPS battery. It just shut off and on. Oh no. I hope that's you can do that without a problem. Sort of, after a period of not feeling in control of my life. So kinda as a rebound of not feeling in control, you wanted to take charge and heavily influence the outcome of your life, right? For me, control feels like an illusion just because I can do my best. Yeah, I'd rather take more charge, but it reads as a negative thing. Only if, I guess control is only a negative thing if you're doing it in a way that's limiting you from all the possibilities in a moment. A lot of times control is rigid handling of the now moment to be what we want it to be, not necessarily appreciating it for what it is. So control in this mindset is, I guess, like a call for how are your views, beliefs, and actions seeing the reality before you. Because ultimately, there's not a lot of control we have. We can do our best to be our best and do everything right. And then the next moment brings a huge wall of change that we couldn't have planned for. And so that's why, for me, control is a negative thing. But everybody is different in a different stage of their life. So I let go of the need for control, kinda. Not really, I still work with it, but it's more fluid. For me, the most control I have in the moment is over myself. And so I like that definition of control. I can't always control what's going on outside of me, but I can control how I react to the external environments. So I would say, if we're looking into the cards to reflect yourself in state to the relationship, I guess this card coming from the mind is how. Kathy, wow, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Thank you. I'm like, yay. I appreciate your donation. It means a lot. So in relation to a friendship, I guess, how much influence do you feel you have in connection to the person you're in? Because ultimately, relationships, family, it's a two-way street. We can put in everything into a relationship, and ultimately somebody can choose to not give back. And so know what you can control, which is yourself, and your freedom you give your other person to be themselves and, participate in the moment as they want to. I was going to do Venmo, but then the thing happened, so bits it is. Okay, well, awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I genuinely appreciate your generosity. It means the world. Donation, woo! So then your friend is sitting as the source. And the source is fire, which is mastery of action. And this is the ace of fire. When we speak of being grounded or centered, it is this source we are talking about. When we begin a creative project, it is this source that we can tune into. This card reminds us that there is a vast reservoir of energy available to us, and that we tap into it not by thinking and planning, but by getting grounded, centered, and silent enough to be in contact with the source. It is within each of us, like a personal individual sun giving us life and nourishment, pure energy, pulsating, available. It is ready to give us anything we need to accomplish something, and ready to welcome us back home when we want to rest. So whether you are beginning something new or need inspiration right now, or you've just finished something and want to rest, go to the source. It's always waiting for you, and you don't even have to step out of your house to find it. So I see this card, speaking of source, to me, source is positive connection, positive energy, the light that's always there in a moment. And so the friend's energy, or the person close to you, I feel that they represent a light in your life. And so this card control, which can somewhat have a negative tint, it begs to question, how do you receive the light in your life? Are you positively connected? Oh, I missed it. Yeah, there's always a VOD after the thing airs that you can watch, so you can always go back and check that. I was just saying, the source to me represents light or positive energy in the moment. And since this card comes in your friend's position, it speaks to me that they might be a light in your life, friend or close person in your life. I'm not sure their connection, but they're a light in your life. And this card here wants me to ask you if you're receiving that light positively. That resonates with your person. Yay! Thank you for letting me know the cards are resonating. I always hope, but you never know. So yeah, they are the light. So let's see what conditioning has to say. Yes, very positive. Good. So when I have a positive presence in my life, I try to open myself fully to meet them as deeply as possible because their light warms my life and I want to receive that light and warmth as deeply as possible. And so this conditioning card, I think again speaks of the mindset we keep. So let's go read that and see what it has to say, because this is the mixing of energies position. The card recalls an old Zen story about a lion who was brought up by sheep and who thought he was a sheep until an old lion captured him and took him to a pond where he showed him his own reflection. Many of us are like this lion. The image we have of ourselves comes not from our own direct experience, but from the opinions of others. A personality imposed from the outside replaces the individuality that could have grown from within. We become just another sheep in the herd, unable to move freely and unconscious of our own true identity. It's time to take a look at your own reflection in the pond and make a move to break out of whatever you have been conditioned by others to believe about yourself. Dance, run, jog, do gibberish, whatever is needed to wake up the sleeping lion within. I like this. Your friend or your person is a very positive presence in your life. Your vibe attracts your tribe. I hope in your personal worldview, you see yourself in the same shade of light you see this person, because we meet each other where we're at. And so if you can see all this good in this person, that good exists in you. And so let go of the self-limiting beliefs that make you shine less or feel less warmth inside of yourself. And the meditation is the miser, which is the four of rainbows, and the rainbows is the mastery of the physical. This woman has created a fortress around herself, and she is clinging to all the possessions she thinks are her treasures. In fact, she has accumulated so much stuff with which to adorn herself, including the feathers and furs of living creatures, that she has made herself ugly in the effort. This card challenges us to look at what we are clinging to and what we feel we possess that is so valuable it needs to be protected by a fortress. It needn't be a big bank balance or a box full of jewels. It could be something as simple as sharing our time with a friend or taking the risk of expressing our love to another. Like a well that is sealed up and becomes stagnant from disuse, our treasures become tarnished and worthless if we refuse to share them. Whatever you're holding on to, remember that you can't take it with you. Loosen your grip and feel the freedom and expansive sharing can bring. Hi, let me touch. Or hi, Pickle. Welcome to the evening. It's nice to have you. I'm glad we're working on a reading for Scorpio. As I read the Miser's card, you get what you give comes to mind. When you're in a relationship, what you sow into the relationship is often what you feel you take out of it. No, Taffy, you don't have to join. You are after Scorpio, and then Pickle is up. So no worries, you're good. I'm happy I've been able to make it. I've been lurking for a few. Well, I'm glad you've been lurking. Thank you. I'm glad you're participating, and I'll get to do a reading for you. Scorpio, the miser. You get what you give. And so I like this idea that you have this person in your life that is a source of light, of positive energy, because they can be the inspiration for how to heal yourself, how to live freely, authentically as you are. They make you feel good, right? So fall into that positive relationship and feel good about who you are and who you get to be inside of that relationship, and share yourself freely, because the more time you invest in positive relationships, the better you feel, because your life will be surrounded by light, love, laughter, luck, all those things that come when we positively connect to the people around us. So let that light in and let go of any beliefs or rigid holds on reality that might lessen your connection to that shine and warmth. Because ultimately, it's there. The cards speak, and it just seems like the mind is clouding your connection to that positive energy. Let's see what the oracle cards have to say. The oak tree. Power, courage, strength. That's a good one. The oak tree is a popular symbol of strength. The wood is dense and durable, reliable and long-lasting. This tree symbolizes power and bravery, telling you that you can stand up to whatever storms is on the horizon. Hi, Moldier. Welcome. Good evening. How are you doing tonight? The mighty oak begins as a tiny acorn. It is reassuring to know that something so immense and strong started out as something that you can hold between two fingers. Not only does it remind us that small things can yield huge results, it also reminds us that growing takes time. Rapid growth uses energy to reach a goal quickly. Slow growth uses energy to ensure stable, strong development. The oak tree card urges you to be brave and to stand tall. And the reflection is there something you've been avoiding because of the fear of confrontation? So I wonder, the cards kind of spoke of expression and, diving into the moment. So I wonder what you might not be expressing to that person in your life and what needs said. I am doing well, feeling abundantly blessed and glad to be here tonight sharing readings. And I'm glad to hear that you're doing well. I'm glad to have you this evening. So Taffy, that brings you up. Scorpio, I hope your reading resonated. I hope we brought words that might inspire a better connection to the moment you're in and how to move forward with this person in your life. And I hope no matter what, you feel blessed, safe, and happy in your moments. So let's see, Taffy, what can I do for you tonight? Great reading. Thank you very much. Key spread, please. Absolutely. Not all readings are donation based. The ones listed below my photo are the ones that are donation based. I'm always open to accepting donations, but I do free readings. My favorite is a diamond spread. It's a 5-card reading, and those are free. Just join the queue and I can get you a reading tonight. So Taffy, key spread. So yeah, let's mix up these cards and get them ready. I love the key spread. I've had some really meaningful spreads or readings with the key spread. It hits so many areas, and it just, I hope it's as resonant from you as it has been for me. All right. So Taffy, I don't know that we've jumped the queue, but Taffy is getting the reading now. We have Pickle after Taffy, and then you're up, Mueller. So you're third in line. Okay, so the first card we're pulling is What is Repressed? We Are the World. Ooh, that's a beautiful repression. This is going to be a fun reading. The second card is the Yin card, which is the female passive aspect of yourself. Control again, interesting. You're passively in control. I like that. That's how I feel control. I passively let things happen, and that's the control I have. The Yang, the male active aspect, is Thunderbolt. The meditation. Is the miser. Interesting, these cards both came up in the last reading, and I'm shuffling, so interesting. They say your vibe attracts your tribe. Maybe we're all a tribe needing to hear the same things tonight. The next card is insight into the body. Next is insight into the heart. Aloneness. And then insight into being. Wow, the cards want to talk. New vision. And finally, the 8th card is the consciousness, or the higher understanding. Moment to moment. I love the alignment of these cards. So let's talk, and I hope they resonate, so it's a good reading for you. So first we start what's being repressed. This is the 10 of Rainbows, which is the mastery of the physical. And it's the 10, so we are the world. Humanity is depicted here as a rainbow of beings dancing around the mandala of the earth with their hands joined together in joy and gratitude for the gift of life. This card represents a time of communication, of sharing the riches that each of us brings to the whole. There is no clinging here, no grasping. It is a circle without fear of feelings of inferiority and superiority. When we recognize the common source of our humanity, the common origins of our dreams and longings, our hopes and fears, we are able to see that we are all joined together in the great miracle of existence. When we can combine our tremendous inner wealth to create a treasure of love and wisdom that is available to all, we are linked together in the exquisite pattern of eternal creation. So this card, I love this card. Every time it comes in a reading, I'm always so happy. And I love, it's so interesting that it comes as a repression point. So what's more beautiful? The cards are speaking that your connection to all that is being repressed. You, right now, in this moment, are a funnel of information for the divine that your body, your vessel, translates in every moment you come to. So effortlessly, you are connected to the world. But how connected to the world do you feel? I think that's what's being repressed. And so it moves to your yin and your yang. Your yin, your yin card is here with control, and that's a card of the mind. Uh, the the way we allow our beliefs, perspective, vision to influence our moments. Passively, there's a control factor. So let's see what control has to say. That's the King of Clouds. Okay, there is a time and place for control, but if we put it in charge of our lives, we end up totally rigid. The figure is encased in the angles of pyramid shapes that surround him. Light glitters and glints off his shiny surfaces, but does not penetrate. It's as if he is almost mummified inside this structure he's built up around himself. His fists are clenched, and his stare is blank, almost blind. The lower part of his body beneath the table is a knife point, a cutting edge that divides and separates. His world is ordered and perfect, but it is not alive. He cannot allow any spontaneity or vulnerability to enter it. I like that. He cannot allow any spontaneity or vulnerability to enter it. Okay, we're at an ad. I'm going to turn on the air. Are you back already? You said ad, but you're done. Oh, that's awesome. I was just getting ready to chill for a moment while you were at the ad, but you're back. Happy false ad break. So, the words that stuck with me, he cannot not allow any spontaneity or vulnerability to enter it. If we are the world is what's being repressed, our connection to what is, control is what limits that fountain of wonderful energy, because control is rigid, hard, formed, and solid. But the energy that we are the world, it's fluid and open and vibrant and shifting, because as we are the world, any one of us is different, but we're all the same in our differences. So control tends to limit how we see those differences. Ultimately, trying to control your connection is like trapping it or imprisoning it. To feel the we are the world connection, it's an openness, a vulnerability, a willingness to let things be as they are, not just how we can make them. And then you have thunderbolt in your yang active side. This card shows a tower being burned, destroyed, blown apart. A man and a woman are leaping from it not because they want to, but because they have no choice. In the background is a transparent, meditating figure representing the witnessing consciousness. You might be feeling pretty shaky right now, as if the earth is rocking beneath your feet. Your sense of security is being challenged, and the natural tendency is to try to hold on to whatever you can. So trying to hold on to whatever you can. The passive side speaks of control, and the card in the active side speaks of control as well. But this inner earthquake is both necessary and tremendously important. If you allow it, you will emerge from the wreckage stronger and more available for new experiences. After the fire, the earth is replenished. After the storm, the air is clear. Try to watch the destruction with attachment, almost as if it were happening to somebody else. Say yes to the process by meeting it halfway. For me, the tower, the change, the structure, it's every now moment is the destruction of the tower we're inside of. This moment, this fleeting connection we have to right now, it changes effortlessly. And with each new moment, the tower of what was is destroyed and built again for us to witness. Control and being scared of that shock of change limits how positively we can connect to the essence of who we are. So this card, the miser, comes again in response to control. The miser is a measure of how we handle our resources. So whether that's time, energy, finances, friendship, love, how we hold on to things is how free we feel in the world. So for me, I love love, and I want to experience love so much. I share love freely, always, with everyone I meet. There's no check boxes that need checked to get love from me. It's just an open door invite to everybody that crosses my path. This miser card is the opposite of that. The miser holds on to their treasures out of fear, out of doubt, out of whatever connection they have to them, so they don't lose them. But ultimately, when you're hoarding things, you're losing the life and liveliness of the moment. You're keeping what's calm and stable versus witnessing reality as it is and participating positively inside of that. So if control and change are things that are negative connections, witness how you hold on to things as a connection of how you feel that connection to life itself. Give freely and life will feel abundantly free. But if we hold on to our possessions, our influences, our gifts. We're keeping that abundance to ourselves and ultimately minimizing its worth. So then that brings us to isolation. This is insight into the body. This is in the suit of clouds, so another card of the mind. Oh, it's the soul taker. She takes soul through tarot. No, I'm not a soul taker. If people love me, I'll take their soul, but you know, that's for each on their own. I don't do it by my trying. But did you know Alma means soul? That's why I'm tarot of the soul. Alma in Portuguese actually means soul. And so tarot of the Alma doesn't ring as nicely as tarot of the soul does. And that's how I got my channel name. So we come to isolation. Oh, I'm not on the right page. In our society, men in particular have been taught not to cry, to put on a brave face on things when they get hurt, and not show that they are in pain. But women can fall into this trap too, and all of us at one time or another might feel that the only way to survive is to close off our feelings and emotions so we can't be hurt again. If our pain is particularly deep, we might even try to hide it from ourselves. This can make us frozen, rigid, because deep down we know that one small break in the ice will free the hurt to start circulating through us again. The rainbow-colored tears on this person's face hold the key to breaking out of this isolation. The tears, and only the tears, have the power to melt the ice. It's okay to cry. There is no reason to feel ashamed of your tears. Crying helps us to let go of pain, allows us to be gentle with ourselves, and finally helps us to heal. I like isolation. It's a card that comes for me a lot because when I'm going through it, I pull within and I isolate myself from the world outside of me. And so there's a lot of strength to be found in going inside of yourself and feeling what you feel. And that card is just wonderfully insightful for this We Are the World card, because ultimately your best connection to the world is found through yourself. And so if you're not feeling yourself in the deepest levels possible, you're not going to feel that connection to the We Are the World vibe, because you're not part of the world unless you love yourself fully. It's only by loving ourselves fully that we can fully participate in the world around us. So isolation speaks, let yourself feel whatever it is that you're not feeling, whatever it is that needs spoken, whether it's tears of joy or tears of grief, tears of sadness, or a life not lived to the best you want it to be. Let yourself feel, because ultimately I trust that what you feel is a measure of what we all feel. And feeling that truly, honestly, authentically gives you ample ground to relate to others from the same place. And then it brings in alignment, aloneness. This is insight into the heart. Aloneness is like isolation for the heart. It's that sense of comfort with who you are, regardless of what the external world is. When there is no significant other in our lives, we can either be lonely or enjoy the freedom. Beautiful messages, Alma. Oh, thank you, Stacy. I appreciate that. Thank you. When there is no significant other in our lives, we can either be lonely or enjoy the freedom that solitude brings. When we find no support among others for our deeply felt truths, we can either feel isolated and bitter, or celebrate the fact that our vision is strong enough even to survive the powerful human need for approval of family, friends, or colleagues. If choosing to view your aloneness, if you are facing such a situation now, be aware of how you are choosing to view your aloneness and take responsibility for the choice you have made. The humble figure in this card glows with a light that emanates from within. One of Gautama Buddha's most significant contributions to the spiritual life of humankind was to insist to his disciples, be a light unto yourself. Ultimately, each of us must develop within ourselves the capacity to make our way through the darkness without any companions, maps, or guide. So that's isolation. It's feeling comfortable as you are right now. No changes. You are worthy of feeling good. You are worthy of feeling like you are the world. And anything that gets in between you and that feeling, that's a place to meditate upon, heal, listen, reframe, regrow, and learn that who you are is good enough to be happy with as you are. And that happiness as you are will then ripple outward to be happiness you feel with others, around others, for others. Ultimately, feeling comfortable alone is the freedom to be comfortable with anybody you cross paths with, no matter who they might be in the world. And then insight into the being, new vision. The figure on this card is being born anew, emerging from his earthbound roots and growing wings to fly into the unbounded. The geometric shapes around the body of the figure show the many dimensions of life simultaneously available to him. The square represents the physical, the manifest, the known. The circle represents the unmanifest, the spirit, pure space. And the triangle symbolizes the threefold nature of the universe, manifest, unmanifest, and the human being who contains both. Now you are presented with an opportunity to see life in all its dimensions, from the depths to the heights. They exist together, and when we come to know from experience that the dark and the difficult are needed as much as the light and easy, then we begin to have very different perspectives on the world. By allowing all of life's colors to penetrate us, we become more integrated. And as this is insight into the being, it speaks to me of openness and vulnerability, letting yourself receive the universe as it was meant to unfold for you. There to whatever it is, openness, outside of control, change, and hoarding. It's fluidly letting the moment speak to you as it's most meant to, knowing the universe speaks to you and you alone, as only you can understand. And so seeing good and bad as just messages that you need to understand to better understand yourself, it opens and invites a freedom to participate positively in moments that it's hard to when you're conflicted with change and your perspective on reality. And I love that the card, the consciousness, is moment to moment. That's the ultimate freedom, to be so positively connected to yourself and others that moment to moment is just a fleeting chance to see who you are in the passing moments of your life. It's color, it's vivid, it's change, it's fluid, it's grace, it's wonder, it's magic. There's just a lot of good words that come living moment to moment. And that card is of the suit of rainbows, which is mastery of the physical. And so these cards all speak of an internal journey and growth and reflection and awareness to witness. And when you internalize all that, and that we are the world is no longer being repressed, you're free to float in the rainbow from each moment to each moment, letting it be as it's meant to, witnessing it with purity and joy and wonder, or however you might want to participate with the moment. That's for you, but there's a freedom to be found. So let's see, moment to moment. As this figure moves across the stones, he steps lightly and non-seriously, and at the same time absolutely balanced and alert. Behind the swirling, ever-changing waters We can see the shapes of buildings. There appears to be a city in the background. The man is in the marketplace, but at the same time outside of it, maintaining his balance and able to watch it from above. This card challenges us to move away from our preoccupations with other spaces and other times and stay alive to what is happening in the here and now. Life is a great ocean in which you can play if you drop all your judgments, your preferences, and the attachment to the details of your long-term plans. Be available to what comes your way as it comes, and don't worry if you stumble or fall. Just pick yourself up, dust yourself off, have a good laugh, and carry on. And that's the freedom in a moment. No moment is going to be wrong. Every moment is a chance to learn how to do it better for next time. And so even if you make a misstep, it's just a chance to redirect yourself in a better direction. And so ultimately, every moment is there for your benefit, and it's just there for you to choose to find the benefit for yourself. And ultimately, once you open yourself up to that new pattern of seeing the bliss, the pleasure in each passing moment, it becomes a snowball of cataclysmic change that you just love to witness over and over and over. And that's where I find the connection to the world is. When you love witnessing the now moment all the time, it just becomes a fluid float between ways to connect positively with yourself and others, no matter where you go. So, protection, banishing negativity. I like that. Salt is essential to life. This mineral is so precious that it has been used as currency at times in history when its collection was labor-intensive and time-consuming. In magic, it's an all-purpose component used to create barriers to protect you, as a purifying ingredient in various blessing or holy waters, and as a cleansing implement that removes unwanted energy from magical tools or spaces. The Salt card reminds you that you have easy means to dispel negativity and protect yourself. You don't have to struggle. Salt is your partner in self-defense. Draw boundaries and keep yourself guarded against negativity. Remember to keep the energy surrounding you as clean as possible. These are all wonderful insights when you're connecting with the vibe of we are the world. Ultimately, for me, and so I imagine for others, the root of that connection is positive. So all those cloudy thoughts that are negative and make us doubt or fear or disconnect, those are just distractions that get in the way. So I think these cards speak. Let yourself pass away from dwelling on negative thoughts and open yourself up to the positive connection to yourself and others. Is there someone or something you need to set a boundary with for your own well-being? For me, I guess I struggle to set a boundary around myself. I know I need to be healthy because you can only give so much, but I err on the side of wanting to give myself freely to the point of giving too much. I'd rather give too much than not enough. And that abundance, that prosperity of sharing myself, it's a reward in and of itself. I believe it protects me from the negative intentions of others. Not that negative things can't happen because I'm being a good person. That is not what I'm saying. I just feel that I sow a lot of positive energy in my moments, and that ripples outward to point me in the direction of a lot more positive energy. And so I think that's what this Salt card is speaking of. As you're looking to reflect about your connection to what is, see how negative thoughts or beliefs or self-valuations are influencing your connection to the moment. So Taffy, you're my first paid reading. I hope that was okay for you. Thank you so much for donating bits and sharing in my direction. I hope that was a meaningful reading and it gave you something meaty to chew on and it resonated in all those good words. That was good. Thank you. Yay. Thank you. I really appreciate you. It's so exciting for the donation and to have a reading that was good. I love that. Yay. That's what I hope for. So yeah, awesome. I hope it leads forward into positive connections to all that is. As somebody that feels positively connected to all that is, there is just wealth beyond measure to be found in each moment when you're tapped into that core of what makes life matter. And I love that the cards just they laid out so perfectly with each other to speak on the different aspects of self. And I just thank you for letting me do that for you. I love the magic of the cards that we got a good reading. So I have been reading for a bit now. I'm going to stand up and take a break. When I come back, now I have to go to bed and connect with my subconscious. Oh, I'm sending you to bed. I hope with good thoughts, and I hope your subconscious speaks clearly and you hear it for every word it has to say, and you wake with a refreshing clarity on how to move forward in your moments. Thanks again, Taffy. I really appreciate you. So I'm going to take a break and then I'll come back. Pickle is up next and then Mueller is after that. So I'm going to stretch my legs and then I'll be back shortly. I hope you'll still be there when I get back. Hey, it's Alma. We're back at Tarot of the Soul. Sorry about my break, but I am back and ready to jump back into readings. So up on the at the reading table is Pickle. Are you still there? I hope you are. I saw you a little bit ago, so hopefully you made it through the break. No, we don't. It's crazy. We didn't notice till now. Yay, Pickle's there. Awesome. Hi. Glad you're still there. Welcome back. Thank you. I appreciate it. Glad to be back. Thanks for sticking around while I was gone. So what kind of reading can I get for you tonight? I hope you're having a good night. Glad you're here sharing the evening with me. Hopefully we can find some meaningful cards for you.
Meaningful cards.
Meaningful cards.
That's cards. Like Alma.
It's like Hallmark cards, but magical. That's bright.
That's Do you have your phone?
It's out in the... Whatever the cards want to say. Okay, well, let's do that. Let me shuffle them. We'll use my Osho Zen Tarot deck. It's my favorite deck. And we'll do a diamond spread for you. We'll see what the magic has to say. And let's hope it resonates with what you need to hear. We'll do 5 cards. The first card is the focus in the center. Second and third card are the internal and external influences. Ordinariness. Ooh, I love that card. That's a good card, especially for a focus. Innocence. That goes hand in hand with ordinariness. External influences is the third card. Inner voice. Ooh, new vision. Came up in the last reading. And that's what's needed to better understand or overcome. And the 5th card is the higher understanding, the resolution.
Do this for me before I get it locked in. Nice.
Thought I had it. All right, so let's start with ordinariness. This is the Eight of Rainbows, and the rainbows is the mastery of the physical. The figure walking in nature shows us that beauty can be found in the simple, ordinary things of life. We so easily take this beautiful world we live in for granted. Cleaning the house, tending the garden, cooking a meal, the most mundane tasks take on a sacred quality when they are performed with your total involvement, with love, and for their own sake, without thought of recognition or reward. You are facing a time now when this easy, natural, and utterly ordinary approach to the situations you encounter will bring far better results than any attempt on your part to be brilliant, clever, or otherwise extraordinary. Forget all about making headlines by inventing the latest widget or dazzling your friends and colleagues with your unique star quality. The special gift you have to offer now is presented best by just taking things easily and simply, one step at a time. And I love that. The magic in the moment comes from letting life be as it is. So, the breath you breathe, magic. The comfort of your moment, like sitting at a table, a couch, a chair with your electronic device that's connecting to this stream. These are all creature comforts, mundane things, but there's magic to be found in them. And this card asks, how do you witness the magic in your life? How do you appreciate it? How does it need to manifest for you to positively connect to it? And ultimately, the highlight of this card is that it doesn't have to be overly exaggerated or outrageous to feel magical in the moment. Just living life is the magic, and how deeply positive you take that is for you to nurture. And internal influences is innocence. I love this card. And around the idea of nurturing the magic in the moment, innocence is a great way to find it. The old man in this card radiates a childlike delight in the world. There is a sense of grace surrounding him, as if he is at home with himself and what life has brought. He seems to be having a playful communication with the praying mantis on his finger, as if the two of them are the greatest of friends. The pink flowers cascading around him represent a time of letting go, relaxation, and sweetness. They are a response to his presence, a reflection of his own qualities. The innocence that comes from a deep experience of life is childlike, but not childish. The innocence of children is beautiful, but ignorant. It will be replaced by mistrust and doubt as the child grows and learns the world can be a dangerous and threatening place. But the innocence of a life lived fully has a quality of wisdom and acceptance of the ever-changing wonder of life. And right there is the magic of that as a paragraph. The innocence of a life lived fully has a quality of wisdom and acceptance of the ever-changing wonder of life. The wonder of life is the ordinary, simple things that we might take for granted. And the wisdom within us recognizes the glory in each moment as it is. And then the external influence is inner voice. And again, I love your cards. These are good cards. The inner voice speaks not in words, but in the wordless language of the heart. It is like an oracle who only speaks the truth. If it had a face, it would be like the face at the center of this card, alert, watchful, and able to accept both the dark and the light, symbolized by the two hands holding the crystal. The crystal itself represents the clarity that comes from transcending all dualities. The inner voice can be playful as it dives deep into the emotions and emerges again to soar towards the sky, like two dolphins dancing in the waters of life. It is connected with the cosmos through the crescent moon crown and the earth as represented by the green leaves on the figure's kimono. There are times in our lives when too many voices seem to be pulling us this way and that. Our very confusion in such situations is a reminder to seek silence and centering within. Only then are we able to hear our truth. The outside world makes a lot of noise. The magic of life is witnessed in the stillness within. So ultimately, being able to listen to yourself calmly, gently, and truthfully gives an honest connection to the moment you're in. And so I love that the inner voice comes in the external influence, because ultimately, if you listen to yourself purely on the inside, you'll know how to participate in the world around you. And again, when the inside is full of innocence and that wonder of the simple nature of life, your voice speaks clearly for how you can be a positive presence, not only for yourself, but for others. And from personal experience, when you're a positive presence for others, it feels really good, more than price tags and money can make matter. So that inner voice, innocence and inner voice, two eyes, I love the alliteration, brings new vision, a new way of seeing the world. And that's what's needed to overcome this card. The figure on this card is being born anew, emerging from his earthbound roots and growing wings to fly into the unbounded. The geometric shapes around the body of the figure show the many dimensions of life simultaneously available to him. The square represents the physical, the manifest, the known. The circle represents the unmanifest, the spirit, pure space. And the triangle symbolizes the threefold nature of the universe: manifest, unmanifest, and the human being who contains both. Now you are presented with an opportunity to see life in all its dimensions, from the depths to the heights. They exist together, and when we come to know from experience that the dark and difficult are needed as much as the light and easy, then we begin to have a very different perspective on the world. By allowing all of life's colors to penetrate us, we become more integrated. So, opening the self up to this new magic in life, witnessing it from a refreshing perspective, not inside the cage of self-limiting beliefs, but from a wholesome and healthy connection to self as a living witness to the magic of life unfolding around you. And I find it interesting that politics comes as the higher understanding. That isn't a card that typically has meaning, positive connotation in my mind. So I'm curious what it's going to inspire in my mind. Politics is of the suit of clouds, which is mastery of the mind. 130. Do you recognize this man? All but the most innocent and sincere of us have a politician lurking somewhere in our minds. In our minds, okay? In fact, the mind is political. Its very nature is to plan and scheme and try to manipulate situations and people so that it can get what it wants. Here, the mind is represented by the snake, covered with clouds and speaking with a forked tongue. But the important thing to realize about this card is that both faces are false. The sweet, innocent, trust me face is a mask, and the evil, toxic, I'll have my way with you face is a mask too. Politicians don't have real faces. The whole game is a lie. Take a good look at yourself to see if you have been playing this game. What you see might be painful, but not as painful as continuing to play. It doesn't serve anybody's interest in the end, least of all yours. What you might achieve in this way will just turn to dust in your hands. I guess what speaks to me of this card is the falseness of life. a higher understanding of the lies we tell ourselves and the plans we make for grander future moments than what this moment is. Ultimately, tapping into the ordinary nature of the now moment, the magic and wonder that's there, shows truly how false being anything but wholesome is. Politics is a card of being a fake sense of self to put on a show. But ultimately, the show is found in the mundane nature of life itself, not in pretending to be something we aren't, not in hoping for something that isn't real. When we realize that the realness, the tangible nature of positive energy is there for us to witness in every now moment, being anything but our authentic self just feels highly unimportant. And so I guess these cards all resonate with tapping into the moment positively, wholesomely, authentically, honestly. All good words for how these cards resonate. This card, as the higher understanding card, makes me believe that this embracing of the cards can let go of that tendency to be less than your best self, less than your truest version of who you want to be. A lot of outside influences make us be less than who we are. And the simple magic of life is just existing purely as yourself. So I hope the moment helps you see that the magic is there and that you can tap into it. But it starts within. Let's see. Oh, that card came out. Spring, rebuilding, awakening, rebirth. Well, that's a good card after your reading. Okay. The reawakening of the earth is always inspiring. New life is on the horizon. It can be invigorating to witness the stirring of energy after a long rest. Spring tells you that it's time for new beginnings. It's the perfect time to launch a new project, or if there are things you previously put on hold, the spring card suggests that now is an auspicious time to revisit them. You will bring a refreshed perspective to the project and a new level of energy that you didn't have before. Perhaps all that was needed was a new approach after some time away and a new burst of motivation and determination. Reflection: is there a project you want to launch that you previously ignored? For me, the card speaks of a reawakening, a rebuilding of your connection to the now moment itself, a rebirth of how you see life and how you feel inside of the life you lead. Because ultimately, the energy that you create within, that you witness, harness, nurture, grow, focus on, that's the time and energy you're sowing into your life. And if it's all positive on the inside, it's all going to be positive on the outside. So let that positive energy create a new life and a new way to connect with your moments in a way that doesn't need big flashy things, just lets you be as you are, happy, whole, peaceful, content. Okay, well, Pickle, I hope that was a good reading for you. I hope it resonated, found something that you needed to hear, insightful, inspiring. That was a good reading. Yay! It's what I hope for. Thank you for letting me know. I always hope for good readings, but you never know. So yay, I'm glad we got you a positive reading. Thank you for sticking around so I could get that for you. Which brings me up to Mueller. I believe you are up. If you are still there, I would love to get you a reading. It's been a busy night tonight. Lots of readings. From the very beginning, before I even went live, I had 2 people in the queue. was an awesome way to start the night. And I got my very first paid reading for a key spread, which was awesome. Been a wonderful night. Had resonant readings. I love when that happens. I don't think Mueller is still here. Okay, well, I'll have to join the queue. Call me, Daddy. Are you still there? Because if you're still there, we can get you your reading. Well, since we're kind of at a pause. Oh, there you are. You're up. Call me, your daddy. I just called for you, and here you are. Yay! How are you doing tonight? Call me, your daddy. Any will do. Okay. I'll use this deck for you. Just gotta get it ready. Now we pick up the cards. And we mix them up again with a shuffle. With a swirl shuffle, as I call it. Lightseeker, welcome. Glad to have you. You were actually second in the queue. I'm doing a reading for Call Me Your Daddy right now. And then, hi. After Call Me Your Daddy, you're up. We're going to do a diamond spread and see what the cards have to say. Yep, that's what I was doing. So the first card is the focus of the reading. The Fool. Second card is Internal Influences. Five of Swords. Knight of Pentacles reverse. What's needed? Wheel of Fortune. Page of Wands. Okay, so the Fool. The Fool is the focus. Beginnings, freedom, innocence, originality, adventure, idealism, spontaneity. To see the Fool generally means the beginning of a new journey, one filled with optimism and freedom from the usual constraints in life. To encounter the Fool in a reading can also be interpreted as a summons to the adventurous and daring aspects of your own personality. He instills bravery because he recognizes that every day is an opportunity to explore uncharted territories in your life. So a chance to dive deep into the moment and be unabashedly yourself and feel the magic and wonder that comes in that. So let's see what the internal influence is around basking in the wonder of you-ness in a magical life. 5 of Swords. Arguments, disputes, aggression, bullying, intimidation, conflict, hostility, stress. Yikes. Internally, that's a lot of negativity. The 5 of Swords can represent conflict, a feeling of loss, or procrastination. You need to suppress your pride and accept some restrictions. Only then will you be able to continue with your plans. Aggressive actions will not help you achieve the desired results. Perhaps you listen to the opinions of too many people instead of drawing your own conclusions. There is power in deciding for ourselves, believing that we know enough about who we are to decide what's best. You need to be wise enough to accept all that you cannot change. Yeah, there's a maturity that comes in accepting what we can't change. We can only do so much in a given moment. And this Fool, this new journey, this new beginning, it comes with aligning ourselves with the truest version of ourselves and accept the things about ourselves that are never going to change, while also realizing who we are and holding ourselves accountable to being a positive presence in the moment. External influence is Knight of Pentacles reversed. Workaholic, laziness, dull, boring, no initiative, cheap, irresponsible, gambler, risky investments. You feel that you lack inspiration and your attitude towards everything remains even and dispassionate. Perhaps you are too conservative and prefer to use outdated methods that are no longer effective. This card can also mean the asker feels they are stuck in a rut or bored. Create a change of scenery if needed, but remain in the present. Things will get easier. So this speaks to me of a lack of positive connection to the world around. So inwardly, there's boredom for sure. Oh, cool. So that card resonates. All right. Well, I find if these cards over here, or words resonated over here, or that negative energy is manifesting on the inside, it often projects outward into the world we experience. So when there's no excitement and fresh energy and newness and wonder in the inside, the outside world seems pretty boring. And so it starts within for us to find that, yeah, meh energy. If you feel meh on the inside, the world around you is going to be pretty meh. So it starts within. Wheel of Fortune, reversed. This is what's needed. It's boring world these days anyways. I don't think so. I would highly disagree. I think it's boring when you think it's boring. And if you find reasons to not pay attention and be interested in the moment, life is very boring. For me, every moment is so full of details, I don't have enough time to witness how much excitement there is in a moment. It is the opposite of boring. And so I feel for you that you're connected to your moment so lacklusterly that you think life in this magical world is boring. We are talking to each other through a medium that makes me able to talk to you, though we'll never meet in life. That's magic, but you're bored. How? Find wonder in life, find the blessings, find the positive connection within to find the positive connection without. Because ultimately, if you don't feel excited, nothing in the external world is going to be exciting for you. You get what you give. If you give a bored feeling, you're going to witness a boring world. So the magical world, you said. Yes, the world is full of magic. For me, magic is real. Making actual goodness instantly create. MAGIC. Magic happens when you put good in the now moment. You sow this moment right now with all your time, all your energy, all your commitment, and do it for the good of the moment. And that magic instantly creates into meaning, wonder, bliss, contentment, fulfillment, joy, life, possibilities, creativity. There are all kinds of words that come when you sow the now moment with good energy. Boring is not good energy. If you're resting in a moment and you're bored, you're not positively participating. You're letting life pass you by in less than a loving way. And if life is passing you by in less than a loving way, what are you doing with your life? You want to grasp it, enjoy it, live it, breathe it, let it fulfill you because it's the only life you have. And if it's boring, find something that interests you because you don't deserve to be bored by the life you lead. So, Wheel of Fortune reversed. Bad luck, lack of control, clinging to control, unwelcome changes, delays. When the wheel is reversed, it means that luck has not been on your side and misfortunes have been following you. When it is associated with this card, you must understand that these are due to external influences that you cannot control. What you shouldn't do, however, is cling to the illusion of control. Perhaps in this turn of the wheel, the lesson is to learn to let go and release. You need to wait for the wheel of fortune to turn in your direction. Yeah, and the biggest power in that wheel of fortune being out of your control is that you have the power to change how you feel about things. You can't change the world to be any different than what it's going to be, but you can change how you receive the world around you. If you feel a victim by the world, if you feel victimized by the world, you're going to lead a victim's life. If you feel empowered by the world, you're going to lead a powerful life. If you feel the world is boring, you're going to lead a boring life. How we think, how we see, how we believe, that paints the picture of the life we lead. So magic, I want my life to be magical, abundantly full of goodness. So much so, I spend my every moment sowing goodness into the life I lead, so that no matter what I do, I'm witnessing magic around me. I encourage you to do the same. Find the magical wonder within you. What makes you feel alive? What makes you feel good? What makes you feel whole, healthy, happy, joyous? Whatever words you need to feel anything but bored, what does that? You deserve to feel that. Find that. Focus on that and let that be the change in the moment to feel. Because ultimately, when you tap into that deeper feeling, that positive connection, that's the fool starting a new journey. That's okay. Take a drink. Welcome back. So your final card is Page of Wands, and that's the higher understanding or the resolution. Adventure, excitement, fresh ideas, cheerfulness, energetic, fearless, extroverted. The Page of Wands represents sparks of creativity, inspiration, and energy. The asker may be experiencing the excitement of new ideas, big goals, and an eagerness to achieve their dreams. Soon you will receive good news or have new opportunities. The spirit of competition is in the air. Now is the best time to successfully start a new project. Well, there you go. Take that new energy, that new connection, that new passion, that new positive fountain of however you want to connect to the moment, and let that shape you into a new beginning. Let that move you forward in a healthy and happy making way to where you feel a positive influence in the life you lead. Ultimately, when we connect positively to ourselves, to the life we lead, to the life we lead with others, it's just an abundance of good energy to share, witness, and live inside of. And that energy creates a life that's worth living. And so, if this Five of Swords energy and reverse Knight of Pentacles energy is clouding the vision of the dream, reconcile that. Reconcile how you feel on the inside and with how you feel on the outside, and find a way to feel the magic you create by feeling good as you are. Because ultimately, it's hard to feel good in the world when we don't feel good on the inside. And it's hard to feel good on the inside if we don't feel good about the life we lead. And so it was the last reading I did, Ordinariness, witnessing the simple magic life affords, breathing, sleeping, eating, friends, family, love, laughter, luck, whatever it is that moves you to notice, that's where the magic is for you, because ultimately it's speaking to you, and it's on you to listen to how the universe is speaking to you so you can feel that abundance and prosperity. You're welcome. I got one more card for you from the Oracle deck. I like to follow it up with the Oracle deck as just like one more highlight to walk away with. And you got rain, cleansing, purification, hydration. Water is one of the essentials of life and one of the four classical elements that we use in magical work. Rain hydrates soil and plants. It can be a gentle sprinkling to moisten your garden, or a heavy deluge enough to wash away previously stable land. The rain card tells you that something in your life needs cleansing or purification. It may be a light cleaning, or it may be a full-on reshaping of your situation. There may be a part of your life that is parched and needs rejuvenation. I think the part that needs parched is your positive connection to yourself and the life you lead. That's where you need nurturing, rain, hydration. Meditate on the warning that this card brings and use the energy of water to purify the imbalance. Let the rain wash away what overwhelms you. And the reflection is there a part of your life that is eroding due to an unceasing flow of unstable energy? Hey, Divine Being, how's it going? It is going well. Just finishing up a reading for Call Me Your Daddy. Having a good night. I had my first paid reading tonight. I was really excited. Never had that before. So it's a really exciting night. And it's been busy all night long. Lots of people wanting readings. So it's a good night for me. Light Seeker, are you still there? Because you're up next. It is going good, by the way, Divine Being. Glad to have you here. Loving the night. Yay, you're still here. Awesome. Glad you've stuck around. What kind of reading can I get for you? Any particular question or theme? Oh, everybody changes their name. I'm so bad with names in the first place, and then we change them. Well, thank you for letting me know. I'm glad you're back. I like your new name, Divine Being. I like Divine Being. I like to think of us all as divine beings. So it's cool you're embracing that. Just an energy check for me, please. Thanks. Okay. Yeah. Well, I like to, the reading I just did for Call Me Your Daddy, the 5-card reading, if that's okay with you, I can do that. It's a focus, like what to pay attention to in the moment, and then internal and external influences around the focus, what's needed to better understand, and then a higher resolution. If that feels like a good reading for you, or if you'd like something more simple, I can do that too. Yeah, that would be awesome. Thanks. Awesome. All right, let's get you your reading. See what the cards have to say. What made you change your name, Divine Being? We can do simple, to be honest. Okay, well, I like past, present, future. We can do what led to this moment, what the moment's calling attention to, and what future possibilities to be open to. Just wanted to change it. Sure, thanks a lot. Yeah, glad to get you what you want. Past, transformation. Present, schizophrenia. Future, receptivity. All right. Transformation, changes. The eternal, or the central figure in this card sits atop the vast flower of the void and holds the symbols of transformation. The sword that cuts through illusion, the snake that rejuvenates itself by shedding its skin, and the broken chains of limitations, along with the yin and yang symbol of transcending duality. One of its hands rests on its lap, open and receptive. The other reaches down to touch the mouth of a sleeping face, symbolizing the silence that comes when we are at rest. This is a time for a deep let go. Allow any pain, sorrow, or difficulty just to be there, accepting its facticity. It is very much like the experience of Gautam Buddha, when after years of seeking, he finally gave up knowing there was nothing more that he could do. That very night, he became enlightened. Transformation comes like death in its own time, and like death, it takes you from one dimension to another. So as this card's in the past, I feel the idea that everything that led up to the now moment is there to be felt, to be witnessed, to be understood, processed, and released. And that brings it to schizophrenia. This is an interesting card in this deck. I like it a lot because it's a card of the mind, which is a place a lot of us struggle. The person on this card brings a new twist to the old idea of getting stuck between a rock and a hard place. But we are in precisely this sort of situation when we get stuck in the indecisive and dualistic aspect of the mind. Should I let my arms go and fall head first, or let my legs go and fall feet first? Should I go here or there? Should I say yes or no? And whatever decision we make, we will always wonder if we should have decided the other way. The only way out of this dilemma is, unfortunately, to let go of both at once. You can't work your way out of this one by solving it, making lists of pros and cons, or in any way working it out with your mind. Better to follow your heart if you can find it. If you can't find it, just jump. Your heart will start beating so fast there will be no mistake about where it is. It speaks of the heart, and so I think that's where transformations takes us. That's super true, yeah. So all that it was in the past brings us to where we are right now. And the question is always, do we let ourselves fall deeply into who we are, or do we try to hold ourselves between a rock and a hard place to not fall completely, and because we can't know what we're falling into. This card asks you to just give yourself authentically to who you are and let that be the now moment that you're in. And ultimately, that opens you up to receptivity of the future. Receptivity is another good card. Receptivity represents the feminine, receptive quality of water and of the emotions. Her arms are extended upward to receive, and she is completely immersed in the water. She has no head, no busy and aggressive mind to hinder her pure receptivity. And as she is filled with continuously emptying herself, overflowing and receiving more. The lotus pattern or matrix that emerges from her represents the perfect harmony of the universe that becomes apparent when we are in tune with it. The Queen of Water brings a time of unaboundedness and gratitude for whatever life brings without any expectations or demands. Neither duty or thought of merit or reward are important. Sensitivity, intuition, and compassion are the qualities that shine forth now, dissolving all the obstacles that keep us separate from each other and from the whole. So receptivity, ultimately, when we give in to the moment and let our heart lead us forward, we're opening ourselves up to the world as it's meant to be, as we're meant to witness it. With open arms, open heart, open mind, we let the future fold in around us. And as we've felt the weight of the past and let it change us into who we really are, we'll authentically approach the future moments as they fall in around us, ultimately finding where we're most meant to be. So also we'll give you a card from the Green Witch Oracle deck and see what it has to say. I like this card or this deck because the guidebook has a reflection point, and I like an idea of reflecting on how to move forward. Hearth. Safety, comfort, spiritual connection. The hearth is the spiritual heart of your home, symbolizing the presence. Oh, Raid, wow. Actually, you kind of really on point said what I'm going through, to be honest, not gonna lie. Wow, well, I love that the cards resonated and aligned with what you needed to hear. That's absolutely what I'd hoped for. That's the magic and wonder that's there to be found. Welcome, Raiders. Thank you for coming this evening. Scorpio, you're back. Welcome. Glad to have you, Sod. Raid, woo! Thank you so much. So let's see what Hearth has to say. It's uncanny and beautiful. I love tarot for that. Just the random chance of the cards appearing, coming to be what they need to be. It's so magical when they actually reflect what somebody's going through. That's a kind of, I call it synchronicity and serendipity, and it's my favorite kind of magic to witness. Oh, it's sad. I love that you agree. The hearth is the spiritual heart of your home, symbolizing the presence of spirit. A physical hearth provides light, warmth, and a way to prepare nourishment. The spiritual hearth represents the spiritual nature of the home, the essence of what makes it a place of rest, rejuvenation, and comfort. The location of the spiritual hearth is unimportant, as is whatever you might use or recognize it as physical representation. It may be a feeling, a meditation, a blanket. Hearth also symbolizes connection with those you consider as family, as well as spirit. This card suggests that you look to those relationships and do what is. Wow, I am having trouble reading this. Wow. This card suggests that you look to those relationships and do what is necessary to reinforce them. Renew your connection to your hearth to keep the communication with spirit in your home vibrant. In what way does your connection to spirit need attention? It's a beautiful moving point because ultimately your openness, your receptivity is inviting spirit to speak to you. And if you feel safe, secure at home and hearth, no matter where spirit takes you or how it speaks to you, you'll be open to invite that conversation. And I think that's a great way to move forward into the future. Yay. Okay. So I'm glad that we got you a reading. I love the magic of it, that it was what you needed to hear, that it resonates, and I hope that you can move forward positively. And thank you for coming tonight. Thanks a lot. This was an awesome reminder. I'm glad. Thank you for letting me know you appreciate it. I really enjoy that. Helps me feel good about what I'm offering because I'm not always sure it's going to resonate. So I love that magic when it does. So let's see, light seeker. I think that means that Saad, you are up. To Saad, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but after light seeker, I think you're the next one up. Zade. Zade. Okay. Zadi. However you would like. Okay. I like that it's with a Z. I wasn't sure how to pronounce the TS, so I appreciate that. I like Zadi. I think I'll go with that. Well, welcome to the reading table. I'm glad you joined me from the raid. I love that I get to do a reading for you. What kind of reading can I get you tonight? It's an old letter that eventually became the Z. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. That's kind of new information. I love old things that become new. It's just the way of the world. And I love incorporating old into the new. I had a reading in mind early today, but I have lost it. Okay, so I will take general advice and see if it pops up. All right, well, let's hope I guess I'll ask. I like to do readings with my soul deck, which is this Osho Zen Tarot deck, but it tends to provide really deep, like soulful readings, and not everybody is in the mood to go deep and soulful. So if that's not the flavor of reading you'd like, I'll wait for you to get back. Just mix up the cards while we wait. Happy 111. It is 111. I want to hear more about the deck though. Okay, well, welcome back. I'm glad you made it back. The deck I was talking about, the Osho Zen Tarot deck, it's kind of like my soul deck. For me, it translates really deep spiritual truths. And I recognize that not everybody wants to be read on that level. I find it refreshing to be seen, but some people want a lighted. So I started talking thinking you were back. Now you're back. So I'll start saying again. The Osho Zen Tarot deck, it's like my soul deck. So it speaks really deeply to me and kind of produces really spiritually deep readings. Not everybody wants to go that deep. So, if you're not feeling a real in-depth reading that I have, oh, you're up for that. Yay! I love doing readings with my Zen Tarot deck. And you love deep. Awesome. Well, let's see what the cards have to say. Let's hope it resonates. I love to do a 5-card spread. The first card is the focus of the reading. And then the second and third card are the internal and external influences. I have some talks on YouTube that go pretty deep, I think. Nice. So you're sharing your deep thoughts with others. I love that. I love the idea of us just spilling our depths with each other and just basking in that vast ocean of awareness and understanding that's there to just fill yourself with. So yeah, let's see what the cards have to say for you. So we have transformation, And then we have internal influence. That one flipped. Maybe not. Guess not. Aloneness. Turning in. Completion. And then the fifth card is the higher understanding. This is what's needed. Traveling. Okay, let's go to the book and read these words. I love this deck and the text in the guidebook. It's all so beautiful and inspiring to me. 28. The central figure in this card sits atop the vast flower of the void and holds the symbols of transformation, the sword that cuts through illusion, the snake that rejuvenates itself by shedding its skin, the broken chain of limitations, and the yin-yang symbol of transcending duality. One of its hands rests on its lap, open and receptive. The other reaches down to touch the mouth of a sleeping face, symbolizing the silence that comes when we are at rest. This is a time for a deep let go. Allow any pain, sorrow, or difficulty just to be there, accepting its facticity. It is very much like the experience of Gautam Buddha, when after years of seeking, he finally gave up knowing there was nothing more he could do. That very night, he became enlightened. Transformation comes, like death in its own time, and like death, it takes you from one dimension to another. Transformation is beautiful. I think every moment is transforming itself endlessly, and we're just there to witness that transformation and let us shape it how it's meant to. And so living life alive is living life in constant change, right? Just taking a breath causes time, your body to change, to ripple out, to breathe, your insides to move. Everything is transforming in the now moment. And I love that your cards want you to focus on that, because the internal and external influences are both really harmonious. The internal influence is aloneness, that comfort with just being yourself on the inside, knowing you are a light in the moment as you are, a gift to share with the world. And transformation means that every moment is a chance to refine that light, to share it with others, to stand courageously as you are, knowing that you're worth every measure of wealth there is to define. But beyond that, you're beyond measure, because ultimately you are so perfect that there aren't words to describe who you are. And your journey are those words to define yourself. And that comfort with being alone with yourself, it's a beautiful sense of peace. So let's read those words. When there is no significant other in our lives, we can either be lonely or enjoy the freedom that solitude brings. When we find no support among others for our deeply felt truths, we can either feel isolated and bitter or celebrate the fact that our vision is strong enough even to survive the powerful human need for the approval of family, friends, or colleagues. If you are facing such a situation now, be aware of how you are choosing to view your aloneness and take responsibility for the choice you have made. The humble figure in this card glows with the light that emanates from within. One of Gautam Buddha's most significant contributions to the spiritual life of humankind was to insist to his disciples, be a light unto yourself. Ultimately, each of us must develop within ourselves the capacity to make our way through the darkness without any companions, maps, or guide. And I love that. We make our way through our moments without anybody to guide us but ourselves. That's the transformation. We are always becoming the newest version of ourselves. And Having a positive connection to self, feeling comfort being alone as you are, that's a positive connection to the transformation process. Because when you feel good about who you are on the inside, everything externally becomes a gift that folds into the wonder and splendor of who you get to be. In your external influences is the turning in card, and that's in the water suit, which is mastery of emotions. And I like to think we can't always influence the external world and how it's going to manifest, but we can control, influence, decide how we're going to receive the external world. And that's where the true power lies. How we take our comfort being ourselves and witness the world around us. Turning in. The woman in this image has a faint smile on her face. In fact, she is just watching the antics of the mind, not judging, not trying to stop them, not identified, just watching as if they were traffic on the road or ripples on the surface of a pond. And the antics of the mind are slightly amusing as it jumps up and down and twists this way and that, trying to get your attention and seduce you into the game. To develop the knack of taking a distance from the mind is one of the greatest blessings. It is what meditation is all about, really. Not chanting a mantra or repeating an affirmation, but just watching, as if the mind belongs to somebody else. You are ready to take this distance now, and to watch the show without getting caught up in the drama. Indulge yourself in the simple freedom of turning in whenever you can, and the knack of meditation will grow and deepen in you. I think a powerful presence in the now moment is as a witness, to see what the now moment is, and let that moment influence you on how you want to better be yourself inside of it. And so turning in is taking all that noise outward and listening to the purity of self within and letting that guide you forward in your participation in the moment. With the sense of comfort existing as you are, regardless of the external, and with the comfort of existing in the external, witnessing it as you are, not as you need it to be. That leads to this sense of completion, filling your puzzle, seeing the whole vision that you are. Here, the last piece of the jigsaw puzzle is being put into its place, the position of the third eye, the place of inner perception. Even in the ever-changing flow of life, there are moments in which we come to a point of completion. In these moments, we are able to perceive the whole picture, the composite of all the small pieces that have occupied our attention for so long. In the finishing, we can either be in despair because we don't want the situation to come to an end, or we can be grateful and accepting of the fact that life is full of endings and new beginnings. Whatever has been absorbing your time and energy is now coming to an end. In completing it, you will be clearing the space for something new to begin. Use the interval to celebrate both the end of the old and the coming of the new. That's how I participate with my moments. Every moment is closing a chapter and beginning a new journey. So it's a celebration, both of life and what it could be, and for life as it was. The past is no more. And so for me, it feels important to feel good about the past I'm sending off. And for me to receive the future fully, I want to have lived this moment fully. So that sense of completion is a fullness in the now moment, knowing that the past is no more and the future will be what it is. And you are there in the middle, feeling whole and complete and fully connected to all that is going on, both inside and outside of you. And in feeling that state of completion, you reach a state of traveling. And that is the suit of fire, which is mastery of action. The tiny figure moving on the path through this beautiful landscape is not concerned about the goal. He or she knows that the journey is the goal. The pilgrimage itself is the sacred place. Each step on the path is important in itself. When this card appears in a reading, it indicates a time of movement and change. It may be a physical movement from one place to the next, or an inner movement from one way of being to another. But whatever the case, this card promises that the going will be easy and will bring a sense of adventure and growth. There is no need to struggle or plan too much. The traveling card also reminds us to accept and embrace the new, just as when we travel to another country with a different culture and environment than the one we are accustomed to. This attitude of openness and acceptance invites new friends and experiences into our lives. I like that. As we fold ourselves into this whole sense of self, it's with that whole sense of self that we invite a whole new opportunity or a world around us. And so it invites us to stay fluid, stay present, stay engaged, and let the moments unfold as they're meant to while we fully embody all that we're meant to be inside of them. Okay, well, I hope that was helpful, meaningful, deep, in a way that matters. And we'll pull a card from the Oracle deck and see what it has to say as like a reflection point. Seeds, new ideas, hope, open-mindedness. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for letting me do a reading for you. Thank you for being here with the raid. I appreciate having you. The chance for the reading. Seeds, 97. A seed contains the blueprint for an entirely new plant, a future living thing. It is a miracle that something so small holds the key to new life. There is so much potential within a seed. In fact, planting a seed is an act of hope. It's the first step in a project or undertaking, trusting that in the future you will actualize your dream. However, there's work ahead. If the seed sprouts, it will need care and attention to maximize its potential. You will need to nourish it to help it grow. The seed card tells you that there is something worth your time that is waiting to be recognized. Be open to the messages nature has for you. Don't immediately dismiss ideas as far-fetched or impossible. Give them consideration. There may be something to learn. And the reflection is, when you are thinking about new ideas or new projects, what do you want to achieve? I like to think about possibilities because it means I'm opening myself to change, right? Hopeful change, but not expectations, because expectations are closed ideas on what could be and not necessarily fluidly there to witness reality. So we mentioned seed, new ideas, hope, open-mindedness, a positive way to move forward, and invite that new sense of self into the moment, feeling good, comfortable, and just ready to participate as life unfolds for you. So thank you for letting me do a reading for you. It's been a busy night. I'm really happy with it. Oh, and you followed me. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate the follow. Once I get off my stream, I'll follow you as well so I can see when you're live. Maybe I can give you a raid back sometime. You bet. Well, thanks. I have been streaming for a while now, and it's been a busy night, and you were the last in the queue, so I think I'm going to wrap up for the night. But I'm gonna raid. I'm gonna wait for my husband to come down and help me raid. But thank you for being here. I'm glad I got to do a reading, and hopefully it's inspiring in ways that you need it to be. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you everybody for being here tonight. I appreciate for having you. It's Wednesday, so my next stream is supposed to be Friday. So hopefully we'll see you then.